Well, good morning. I'm here at the Montana Soil Health Symposium, and once again we have some dealers of ours of Agribest that came up from Nebraska, north central Nebraska, all the way up to Montana. Britney, Bolte, and Zach Dickau. Hopefully I got that right this year. Anyway, what kind of keeps bringing you guys back to this conference, and maybe what are some of your takeaways from what you've seen this year?
Thanks, Scott. It's awesome to be back up here, and the weather has been great. It sounds like we're going to hit snow on the way home, but I guess that's part of the course. This is our second time being up here. We heard about it, I think, from you prior to last year, that this was a thing that was going on. So for me, it's connecting, meeting new people, learning something different. Agronomy is what my primary focus is, so any way that I can bring in soil health and the plant science into it. And then I sat through an animal one this morning that's a little out of my wheelhouse, but just to help fill in some of those gaps, and listening to that speaker. Can we name drop?
Sure.
Steve Campbell.
Drop it in there.
Most people are probably going to know who he is, or at least know him. And I, of course, we work with producers that know him and work with him, so it was really great to put a face with a name there. And then how he talks about, bringing, it's not just, the soil obviously helps and can make or break things in that way, but if you're not in a place in your system that you're 100%, in the regeneration side of things, how you can kind of help kickstart those animals into that process too. So that was a really great thing for me, and plus a whole bunch of other things, of course, but we don't have 20 minutes to get into that.
Well, that's awesome. And Zach, what's kind of some of your takeaways from what you've seen here?
Just a lot of the tying the soil health to the animal health things together, and how even using like Redmond products with the conditioner helps animal gut health and overall herd health.
Well, it's always interesting being at this conference, and they bring in some great speakers, and it's always interesting. Comes back to a lot of those same principles, especially from an agronomist. Britney, they run Yield Plus Agronomics down there in Nebraska, and that's how we got connected, and seeing some of that soil health and the value of that back to animal health. So really interesting things each year that comes back to simple things: diversity, balance, working with nature, and things like that. So
I think in that it's not just on the animal side. Maybe I'm speaking out of. I have 3 horses, so watching their behavior can tell you a lot about what is or isn't going on inside, because obviously they can't speak to us in English.
Right.
I would assume it's the same on the cattle side. Obviously, we heard that this morning with Steve, and you just got to watch the animal, and they tell you. I think that the animals are obviously going to tell you what's going on in your soils, and every cow needs an agronomist. That's why we do what we do in doing that, and it all starts at that soil level, because the soil builds the plants build the animal. And that's, like Zach said, with implementing the Redmond side into the animal health, then what goes in the cow, the horse, the chicken, whatever, which you're probably not feeding Redmond to chickens, but same concept. What goes in comes out, and that affects things on the ground level. That's what it's about, is that foundation and that base.
That's awesome. Well, thanks once again, guys, for coming up, and great to see you, and hopefully you have a safe trip home.
Well, that's the way we got 4-wheel drive.
There you go. Thanks.